How's it going, everyone? Welcome to episode 11 of
Conspirial.
I'm your host, Addison Rose.
And I'm that motherfucker that is not real. That motherfucker
Okay, cool.
is not real.
It's been a little while. I know we said we would post more often. We did for a little bit. And then life happens. Just, no excuses.
Our paying jobs happen.
Things. Yep, happen. But we promise this time we're going to be posting weekly. If not for nothing, it's definitely a stress relief for us in a way to be able to do this and to have fun with it and research these topics. And so we're sorry, just getting that out of the way. We're going to be posting more regularly, even though for example, our crew isn't here today. That's why you get to see my big bulging ugliness. Have to get up, press it, and then come back down. Our crew isn't here today, which is fine. But that does mean we won't have alleged confessions after this. Would just be us too. It's more fun when more people are here for that. So getting into it, we're excited to be back. Welcome, that motherfucker that's not real. Our episode today, we are doing cults. I almost said the word cunts, but in a way,
Some are involved.
A lot are. So I'm gonna go first. We're gonna get right into it. My cult that I'm talking about today actually happened or was discovered very, very recently. This year, the story broke.
But how long that cult been around?
I will definitely get into that.
Oh.
But the story broke earlier this year in 2023, and I don't know if you heard about it or whatever. And before I just dive into the story, it's been called the Starvation cult of Malindi, Kenya. And I always love the names of this because that's honestly not what he wanted the cult to be called, right? That's just what everyone calls it now. Like, oh, yeah, that,
Malindi, Kenya?
Yeah, in Malindi, Kenyan, so Africa.
Malindi, Kenyan.
I am once again. I seem to always pick, no matter what topic we do, of foreign countries that I just mispronounce everything.
And never research how to pronounce it.
I think
just watch like one news
I think that has a little charm to this, a little bit, maybe. Let's get into it. So, obviously this takes place in Malindi, Kenya. It took place in the...
That was the name of the cult boss. Malindi, Kenya.
It took place in the Shakahola forest. And as of right now, as of today, they have found more than 400 sets of bodies in mass graves, and I think there's still like 300 people missing. That they just keep finding these mass graves, and we'll definitely get into it. And it's in Kenya's coastal tourist town of Malindi. Detectives have said this cult community has been split into 8 separate settlements, all having biblical names such as Galilee and Bethlehem and that sort of thing.
I wonder how they got named that.
Yep, we are going to find out. So all the graves that they found out, shallow graves, they're unmarked. Like I said, 400 sets of bodies have already been found, and there are tons of mass graves that still remain. The cult was preparing for the end of the world under the instruction of the powerful pastor Paul Mackenzie.
White.
He is not white. He is African. I'm sure. I mean, he has a middle name here that I won't even dare try to pronounce. But I'm just going to call him Mackenzie.
That's white people
shit. For definitely Christian shit, and a lot of Christian cults definitely have quite a nice little reputation. Yep, and a lot of this is still going to follow.
Starve, rape, free labor.
A lot of these are going to follow very similar results of other infamous cults like Waco and that sort of thing. So
the government was the bad guy in Waco.
Oh, for all the death? Yeah, absolutely. They should have just left those people alone. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that much about Waco, to be honest. I don't know. Getting off the rails here. So let's get into Pastor Paul McKenzie. Described as a very charismatic leader. It's funny. So they're not only calling this the Starvation cult of Malindi, Kenya, but they're also calling this the Shakahola Massacre, just because from all the bodies that are being found and all that sort of thing. Several witnesses have said that the pastor would call them and saying that you are going to be left behind, and when the ark is closed, it'll be too late.
The ark? For Noah's Ark?
For the end of times, in order for you to be saved, you need to come follow me and follow what God has revealed to me.
There's been like 7 men in my life that have told me the exact same thing.
And the day you actually go for it is when the world is actually going to end. So let's.
When I go for it, when I'm like, this is the one.
You might be like 80 and you're off your rocker and you might as well just be like, yeah, might as well.
Right.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to do. My grandkids never come see me.
So I love this this article that I read. Apparently in Kenya, there's an old joke where if you lose your job, you need to start a church or a charity. Like that's a common like a joke that they have amongst like the people there.
Real talk, if Conspirial was a church, it'd probably make way more.
Would you be the leader?
Of course I would.
Of course you would.
Of course I would. I'm the brain.
So he actually McKenzie lost his job as a taxi driver, and then launched the Good News International Ministry.
Good news.
So this happened in the early 2000s.
This is in fact not good news.
Spoiler alert, terrible news. So that he started the Good News International Ministry in the early 2000s. So, and then like many cults, it progresses like step by step. He didn't come out right away saying,
suck my dick.
Well, I'm not actually, there hasn't been a lot of reports of the sexualness in the cult that I was able to find. No, just
bananas.
But it gets wilder. So, but he didn't go balls to the wall.
They never do
right away. Right.
They start off cool, and that's what we're doing.
Incremental. Follow us. So he became known for his fiery sermons and drew a significant following.
His fiery sermons.
That's what it is. For his fiery sermons, he was very passionate and
his Joel Osteen.
That cult, that would be a crazy one to do because I've been to one. I've been to his church and it's like a rock concert. It's so bizarre. It's the weirdest, most uncomfortable thing. I mean, probably not as uncomfortable as this. To be honest, of the Good News International Ministry.
I want to go to Ye's church.
That's another one. So he initially focused on drawing in...
Wait, real side note? I used to think like the stories the pastors would tell were true. Like, you know how they always relate a story to whatever the subject is?
Oh,
church?
like a modern sort of like connection piece to it and all that stuff. Yeah.
I distinctly remember one about like keeping faith, about Joel Osteen, about his mom measuring the backyard because she was gonna get a pool, and she manifested that fucking pool. She got it.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with the millions that they were making off the.
Well, it was when he was a kid, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well.
And I believed every story. I'm like, that's crazy. These pastors always have a story related to the text of the day.
So going back to it, so his initial claim or his initial people that he started getting followed were all professionals from all across Kenya. Paramilitary police, flight attendants, social workers, getting people, not just like the
rest
poor.
Of the taxi drivers lost their job.
Definitely not. They knew not to follow that guy.
Couldn't even fucking drive. Couldn't even put his signal light on.
So
wait, did he get fired or quit?
It said he abandoned his job. So I think I said initially he got fired. I think he quit. So
he abandoned his job.
So what it said?
I don't quit. I abandoned jobs.
Abandoned my job. Here's my 2 weeks abandonment notice. Yes. So he has since denied, and I'll get into that later. Um, but he has since denied any allegations that people were starving, that he never saw people starving.
You know how those 400 bodies died, though.
And then so whenever they found all the bodies, he actually was quoted saying, "I can tell nothing about that because I've been in custody for 2 months. So all the bodies that you're finding, that's crazy. Must have happened in the past 2 months when I got locked up. Wild, right? People die in Africa all the time." He's like, okay, God. And he's like, "I've never seen anyone starving." So
He said, what?
so yeah, so yeah. So once he started getting a lot of people to follow his teachings and everything, that's when he started his fiery sermons. That's when he started stepping things up a little bit. Once he got more power, he wanted more and more and more to control his sermon, I guess, his people, his congregation. Yes. So he has been likened to, like, Charles Manson, David Koresh, and several of those people. And once he got the power, he didn't want to let it go. And he actually started.
Be real.
He actually started posting his stuff online too. So he was trying to reach a lot of people throughout the country. And so, like, one of his sermons was actually like 3 hours long. A lot of them were. And
can you still watch it right now?
He would. Yes, you can. So he was quoted as saying, "Look what will befall all nations of this world."
Miss Ma'am, we are recording.
Take two. Sorry about that. Had a little technical issue, but let's just get right back into it. I believe the last thing I said was that once he got arrested, Mackenzie was saying, "Oh, I never saw anyone starving," and that sort of thing, right? And then I was talking about the
400 people died in 2 months from starvation.
Yes.
After.
Yeah, and just in the 2 months, he was like, "Oh yeah, I don't know what happened," right? And I just want to make sure that I also reiterated the fact that his whole spiel, which is why it became known as the Starvation cult, was that his followers believed that starvation was their ticket to their salvation. So the only way you can be saved,
that's catchy,
was if you starved yourself.
Starvation to salvation.
Starvation to the newest weight loss trend.
Starvation. So, who needs Herbalife? Just fast.
Right. So, like I said, so he started posting stuff online, and then had like 3-hour-long sermons and that sort of thing. Was a very charismatic orator in both his church in Malindi and...
Did you say hoarder?
Orator. Speaker. And,
I just said that.
well, reading what I wrote in my notes. So, he would say, interesting stuff, like, as he's quoted as saying is, "Look what will befall all nations of this world. Anger, frustration, and many things, and many disasters will make human beings cry without help. This is what will cover the world." So this is how he started to play into the fear aspect of everything.
I do that every day. He would not have gotten me. Like, this is my reality.
You should have more followers. Because he's doing it right, apparently. So there's plenty of instances where a lot of his followers like shaved their heads, male and female.
You think Jada?
That's alopecia, right? No, don't think so. And they entered church during marriages. So
with minors.
I haven't found anything like that so far.
That's bananas.
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but this doesn't seem like a sex-based power thing yet. I mean, not a lot of people are liking to come forward right now. There's a few.
Well, because like it's just now.
It's just now, and people are still under the spell and under the influence of it all, which is crazy. So as this progresses, we're going to
stay
find
above the influence.
Always. Yeah.
This is your brain on weed.
So, and then a lot of people actually started joining up when COVID hit, because he also stated that diseases would come and render the world helpless, and then COVID happened. So people were like, oh
shit.
Must be the end of times, and so he got a decent boost. So after that, a bunch of people...
We're not connected. Just plug it in, pause it.
Yep, pausing, take... As you can see, we haven't done this in a while. We didn't know that wasn't...
because we don't have the crew.
Plugged in. Yeah, we're doing this, on our own. So anyways, hopefully that audio will be picked up, because we ain't going back. So...
Hey, I always add captions.
So once coronavirus hit, a lot of people just gathered their family and they moved into the forest. At this point, he moved from his church to this forest, and charged people like $80 per person to like live on this land, like for him.
Just one time?
No, I think it was I think it was like $80 like per like spot. So like they would pay and he would give them a plot of land.
But is it reoccurring?
But there were tithings and stuff like that. But like the initial thing, if you wanted to move out to the forest, was $80, $80 per person.
I mean, that's cheaper than what I pay to live.
Absolutely, and obviously food wasn't an issue, so.
Until he got arrested.
You didn't have to worry about paying for food because it wasn't there. So, once he started gathering more followers, that's when he started to spread his influence to the poor, to people in need, and that sort of thing. Started preying on people's fears of everything to get them to follow him, and that his influence from God was what let everything continue on. So like the hope of salvation, and to turn your back on the stresses of daily survival. So what I find just so difficult or so crazy about this is that the government started to be aware of a lot of the stuff that was happening back in 2018. So
it's been going on for a while.
Yeah, so like I said, like he started his church in 2010, but then like the whole forest thing started happening in 2018, and this just got found out this year. So he had 5 years of just craziness.
Predicting COVID.
Just yeah. So anyway, so he actually was arrested in 2018 and detained for his anti.
Sorry.
You gonna make it? For his anti-governmental stance, because not only would he prey on these people in need, but he would also make it seem like he would make them take their kids out of school, don't go to hospitals, don't get vaccinated. So he started basically praying like the world is evil, it's gonna end, don't do any of this, starve yourself with me and you'll be saved, essentially.
Okay. I don't think I can do that. I stay hungry.
At the height of it, there was, some people said there was around 1,000 people living in the forest, and around 300 families, all in this forest.
In the forest.
And a lot of the families wouldn't even, or a lot of the people wouldn't even tell their families where they're going. They're like, oh no, we're just moving to a different part of Kenya, don't worry about it, we'll be fine. And yet they were joining this starvation cult. Absolutely crazy.
Starvation to salvation.
So earlier this year, that's when Mackenzie started telling his followers that at some time this year, the world was going to end, and we should start fasting, because that's how we're essentially going to purify ourselves.
Did Jesus fast?
Yeah, remember the 40 days and 40 nights thing, where he was tempted by the devil and everything like that? Yeah.
The devil offered me a cheeseburger, I'd take him up on it.
Especially in that time, they didn't even have cheeseburgers, so I'm sure you would definitely have taken
some lamb, some fish in a basket and bread, whatever was the vibe.
So he stated that the fasting would start with the children, and then once the last child died, then it would go to the youth. Then once the youth died, then the women, and then lastly men, and then Mackenzie would be the last to die and ascend everyone into heaven with him. So
how do you not feed your freaking kids?
To be saved, the world's gonna end.
youth.
That's the whole point of it. So a lot of the people were so captivated and believed in Mackenzie so much that a lot of the children that have been found in these graves not only starved to death, but a lot of them were smothered so they could die easier, and a lot of them were beaten and had cranial fractures and stuff like that. So like they were trying to,
they had to starve to death.
you know, so it's absolutely crazy. So then this really started blowing up because starving children were escaping the forest and going into neighboring villages. And the elders of this went to the authorities and were like, something's going on in this forest. You have to
figure it out. There's hungry ass kids coming out of it.
Do something about it. So I know I mentioned in 2018 he was arrested for his anti-governmental stance, but they didn't charge him with anything, so they let him go. So then he had 5 more years of doing
starving
this.
freaking kids.
And then like I said earlier this year, that's when he really cranked up the notch, and that's when people started dying, supposedly in just mass groves, because you can't go. What is it, like? You can't survive 5 days without water, but like 2 weeks without food. So I mean, you're not.
Like that.
So you're just there. So anyway, so then after these children and the elders of the neighboring villages went to the police and the government and all that stuff, that's when they started rescuing these people from the forest. And a lot of them didn't want to be rescued, even the ones that were currently in the process of dying.
I'm telling you, they would have showed me one cheeseburger, I'd be out.
And then so then obviously these people had to be taken to the hospital to, you know, whatever. And a lot of this is, I don't mean to laugh, but it says at least 65 people rescued from the forest were later charged with attempted suicide for refusing to eat. So even while they were in the hospital being treated, they still didn't want to eat. They still believed that the world was going to end, and that this is the man they needed to follow, and all that.
Ain't no way.
All that stuff.
I'm dying, or whatever the punishment is. I'm going to hell.
Yeah.
I'm eating.
Yeah, so
they put some tater tots in front of me, I would have ate.
And so most of what I just read came from CNN, and that was just released.
What about the reliable source that I use, Wikipedia?
Right. Well, see, it's really too new.
It's too recent.
So this is just news reportings that I'm kind of collaborating together. So the stuff I'm about to read right now came from the BBC, and it kind of gets into the more graphic narrative. Shout out to BBC. You don't sugarcoat nothing. You're like, this is what we heard and everything like that. So, and a couple of these things, I remember a story that you told me about your youth. So just wait. So
they tied kids to a tree.
No. So hold on. So like the children were killed first, and they were ordered to fast in the sun so they would die faster. So just out in the.
Like when they cured my fever by wrapping me up in 40 blankets.
So then they wrapped them in blankets and buried them, even the ones still breathing.
I swore I was gonna die that day. I promise you, I saw the light that day.
And so
that'll have to be an alleged confession. And
so while he got arrested, obviously again this time, right? And so he's been in custody for 2 months. And then he told the police that he closed down the Good News International Church 4 years ago. So it wasn't even, all these bodies, because
those are recent bodies.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, it's been closed for 4 years. I haven't been in the forest.
That's bananas. The gaslighting is crazy.
And so even though he closed it 4 years ago, there's hundreds of his sermons still available online, some of which have been recorded obviously after the date of the 4 years ago. So he's just, I don't know.
Is he still doing it in jail?
I doubt he's allowed anything like that, especially in a Kenya jail. I can't imagine them sneaking. I'm sure they don't play that.
Welcome to Starvation to Salvation.
He has denied that he forces followers to starve themselves. Even though he preached against education, saying that it was satanic after receiving his revelation from God. Like I said, he avoided telling them to seek medical attention during childbirth and did not vaccinate their children. I mean, just absolutely, yeah. So he hasn't been convicted, I don't think, yet, because they're still finding bodies. This BBC report, the death count.
How many more bodies do they need? 400 will give you 400 years.
This BBC report, they've only found around 200 bodies, and they said 600 were still missing. This CNN one said they found 400. So if you're doing the math, I guess there's still 400 people missing that they're still finding in this. So this could get up to almost 800 people dead in these graves by the end of it all. And this happened, or this just broke this year, and it's just absolutely bonkers, just absolutely bananas. And so we'll record some shorts once more news of this breaks, put it on our TikTok account, that sort of thing, as it develops. But I remember reading this when it first came out, and it was just like, oh my goodness, just starve yourself.
Starvation to salvation.
Starvation to salvation. Hashtag.
Fuck Jenny Craig.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's horrible.
Right, so this stuff still goes on. This stuff will forever always go on. There'll always be
course.
some lunatic preying upon people and
the vulnerable
and everything like that. Yeah, absolutely crazy.
On dumbass hoes like me.
Well, no, you just said you wouldn't be able to get got, so maybe you're not a dumbass.
Not on a starving one. Maybe like an overeating one. like the Hobbit schedule: first breakfast, second breakfast,
or the just drink wine. All you need is
drink.
All you need is the Lord's blood. That's all you need.
Just the Lord's blood.
Just
they would get me real quick.
What's that?
Real quick.
Is that a Cabernet?
is that only Cabernet? Okay, my cult. I remember growing up and hearing this on the telly. I'm gonna talk about a Mexican cult that I feel like no one ever hears about at all.
Well, especially here, we don't give a shit, right? What goes on, whatever they're doing down there, let them knock themselves out.
As long as they're not taking our jobs.
All right, that's why we're building that wall. Keep that crazy shit down
there. Yeah.
Kidding.
So I'm gonna talk about the sex cult Gloria Trevi and Sergio Andrade made.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's a crazy. It's not a very catchy name, but those are the names of the people. Okay,
yes, it does not have a name or a catchphrase like yours. I don't think it was able to develop that.
Well, depending on the time, since mine was so recent, it's all about marketing yourselves. I'm sure there wasn't a marketing class back then.
They didn't have a publicist.
They didn't have a PR person to do this well.
Okay, so this involves the Mexican Madonna essentially and her manager. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about her early life and a little bit about his early life, and then we're going to dive into the cult. So Gloria de Los Angeles Treviño Ruiz, born February 15th, 1968. I think that makes her an Aquarius. Angel of Aquarius. Born in Monterrey, Nuevo León, Mexico. She decided to leave her town to pursue a music career. From 1985 to 1995, she was part of a girl group called Boquitas Pintadas. So, little mouths or baby mouths painted.
Little baby painted mouths.
Yes. After the group broke up in 1988, she was approached by Sergio Andrade for the production of her first solo album called Que Hago Aquí. What am I doing here?
Painting
Bad shit. Which was released in 1989 and scored a #1 hit across Latin America. Trevi was often dubbed the Madonna of Mexico because she was very provocative. You know what's bananas? I don't know much about Madonna.
What do I Madonna? Yeah, okay, so Madonna must have already been popular if that's what they were calling her.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, okay. Sorry.
In 1991, Trevi
There it is. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Definitely. Okay. Go on.
Trevi released her second album, Tu Ángel de la Guarda, Your Guardian Angel. Pause. She was not nobody's guardian angel. She's the opposite of a guardian angel, which is like what, an ops demon? That's what the fuck this bitch was. Widely regarded as her best album, she had a song called Pelo Suelto that was the lead single of the album. It was a worldwide success, reaching #1 in several Latin American countries and in Spain. Fuck Spain. España. Billboard magazine included Tu Ángel de la Guarda in their list of greatest Latin albums of all time. So she was big.
Was it fire? Have you listened to it?
Bro, I know that song. I grew up with that song.
Fire?
Voy a traer
Was
el
it Bob?
pelo
Okay,
suelto.
yeah.
Yes, it was, because it was like rock on. Her third album, Me Siento Tan Sola, I Feel So Lonely, was released in 1992, garnering another hit, Zapatos Viejos, Old Shoes, which, if I remember right, Sergio Andrade made into a movie that she started. And I have no idea what it's about, because it doesn't matter, because fuck them.
It can't be about shoes, right? It's got to be some sort of innuendo, right? Like, you don't need to be wearing them old shoes, that old puss, you know, and come get... I mean, right? It's got to be sexualized somehow. Like, it's pop. Like,
I'm sure.
Yeah. If she's anything like Madonna.
I didn't want to listen to her song. I didn't want to give her the views.
She's anything like Madonna.
I only know Pelo Suelto.
Like a virgin? Crazy. Okay.
Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about Sergio Gustavo Andrade Sanchez, a.k.a. Sergio Andrade.
And that's her manager?
That's her manager, yes. He was born November 26, 1955. He was a singer, pianist, composer, arranger.
Older. He was older. Okay.
Way older. Conductor, record producer, writer, film director, and artistic representative of Gloria Trevi. He apparently was super smart, allegedly growing up. I'm trying to find the notes on that because for some reason I put it at the very bottom.
Get back in the swing of things. We're good.
He was like a child prodigy with the piano, and he went to a lot, I guess their version of Juilliard. So he was just incredibly gifted with music.
Juilliard. Sorry.
In his extensive career as a musician, he won multiple awards at national festivals, including the OTI 1982, 1983, 1984, International Song Festivals, Yamaha, Japan 1983, and in Chile 1985. He received gold and platinum records as a composer and producer with performers such as Lucero, which is another Mexican artist that started out really young, like Britney Spears.
Japan?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Cesar Costa, Yuri, Cristal, Maria Jose. As a scriptwriter, screenwriter, and film director, he made films such as Old Shoes, Zapatos Viejo 92, La Papa Sin Ketchup, The Fry Without Ketchup. And I did not want to watch these movies because I did not want to support them.
It's got to be innuendos. It's got to be. No one's watching a fucking...
And he wrote the music for both of those. And Gloria was the star in those.
So he's a super talented guy. I mean...
Fuck him.
Well, no, I'm not. But, like, I'm just saying, like, in the grand scheme of things, this
yes.
guy is hella talented.
Yeah, he was the guy for producing and management during that era.
It's crazy. So much potential. Like, so
much potential to rape. He was the son of Eduardo Andrade Ajedo, an engineer employed by Petróleos Mexicanos, and later he was designer and printer of stamp albums. I don't know what that is. And he was the son of Justina Sanchez Marquez, the brother of the sister of a broadcaster and politician, Eduardo Andrade Sanchez. He studied his first 4 years, and again, their version of Juilliard, of elementary school Juilliard. He began his musical studies in piano and solfeggio in another fancy school. At the age of 11, he entered the National Conservatory of Music in Mexico City. He then on moved on in high school and in college to take a lot of psychology classes.
Sure, that won't play important later.
Of course not. And now let me go back to my other notes because now we're going to go into the crimes. So basically, he met Gloria Trevi, said, I'm going to make you a star, and made her a star. So we're going to start with the first survivor that came out and blasted them, essentially. So her name is Aline. Aline was 13 years old when she was approached by Gloria Trevi. So think about it this way. It was like that. It was their Madonna or like their Britney Spears, I guess, for our era. Imagine going to auditions and singing and trying to get to break, and Madonna or Britney Spears coming up to you and saying, you got talent.
Obviously, I don't know the story, but this is kind of sounding like very R. Kelly-ish.
Yes, it is very R. Kelly.
Like how he would.
Nothing but
Oh, you want a career or whatever? I got you.
I got you.
You like pee?
I got you.
I got you.
So, essentially, Gloria would go to like these younger castings or beauty pageants or anything like that, and she'd be like, "You, star."
Side note: can we just stop beauty pageants,
Those are
especially child ones?
Those are disgusting.
Especially children ones.
Children ones
like,
are disgusting.
What is it
Who
like?
Who fuck's watching that?
This universe, whatever.
Yeah,
do what
sure,
you want as
yeah.
a consenting adult, but definitely stop the child ones. Underage, fucking yeah, no.
Yeah, so Gloria Trevi came up to her at an audition type thing, and she was like, hey, you are the perfect age to be a star right now. At 13. And Aline was like, hell to the fuck yes, because who the fuck wouldn't be excited?
Perfect age.
Perfect, you are the perfect age.
There's not a lot of good sentences that start with you're the perfect age. It's like, like whatever. Whatever.
So Gloria told her, hey, like, we actually have a school to teach these young girls, you talented girls, and we will teach you and you guys will become stars via the help of my manager and producer, Sergio Andrade. See me? I'm a star. You will be a star. So after...
Give me the willies. I don't like any of this.
Yeah, after meeting, and they also knew what girls to victimize. So it'd be girls that came from poverty, younger girls.
Of course, yeah.
That just wanted to help their family out too monetarily.
Yeah.
So they took Aileen to the school. When she pulled up to the school, it was a crusty, dusty, musty house known as the Pink House. And I'll post pictures of all of this on our Instagram and on our TikTok.
Even that I don't like, the Pink House.
The Pink House
Ugh.
that had a barbed wire fence around it.
Huh?
So they took her to the Pink House and they told her she had to audition, even though she already got admitted. Took her to the Pink House to audition in front of Sergio. She danced, sang, and acted. After the audition, Gloria took her to the side and told her, you have to strip naked for Sergio, though. That's part of the audition. He needs to see the parts of your body that require more exercise.
The perfect age.
The perfect age. Aline said no.
Good start.
Even after she said no, Sergio was like, you know what? I'm going to admit you to my school with a full scholarship for free because that's how talented you are.
Did he actually have a school, or is this just a...
No, this is the Pink House.
Right. The Pink House is the school.
This is a Pink House.
But it's not an official school.
No.
Okay, all right.
It's literally a Pink House. The pictures are horrific.
Yeah.
And
but as a 13-year-old, you hear this, I'm like, oh my God.
The documentary that I was watching on it, they took Aline back to the Pink House to record a lot of her
as
an adult. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's brutal.
So Aline started taking classes twice a week. Gloria then started pulling her aside to tell her about Sergio. She was like, he's a good man, Savannah. So she'd be like, he's a good man, he's mysterious, he's smart, like, just so you know. He's a vibe.
just has R. Kelly all over it.
Yes.
So wild.
Gloria told Aline that her job was to make Sergio believe in love again. Ugh. And this guy's disgusting. I'll put pictures of him
Wait.
too.
Hold on. It was the 13-year-old's
job to make Sergio believe in love again. I don't know what that had to do with her potential music career or acting career, but yeah. And just to keep in mind, at this time, Gloria was 21, 22. Super big star. Mm-hmm. Sergio was 34. Mm-hmm. And Aline was 13, 14. Mm-hmm. There was other girls there too, but this is just one of the ones that came forward. Yeah. Okay. When Aline turned 14 years old, that's when Sergio first started raping her. I mean, when they started dating, according to Sergio. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Again, he was 34. And at that point, Aline had never been a boyfriend or had any type of sexual relationship before, of course, because she's fucking 14 years old. So that was her first experience with that. Gloria told Aline that the most important thing for her was to not tell her parents that she was dating Sergio. Because at first she would get dropped off there, and then eventually they were like, oh, this is a boarding school, so now you have to live here.
Yeah, of course, because that'd be weird if you told your parents.
Don't tell your parents because they wouldn't understand and would pull her from the school, causing her to lose her chance at stardom.
Yeah. Seems legit.
At the same time, while he is raping Aline, he also has a sexual relationship with Gloria and one of Gloria's backup dancers, Maria. For adult women.
Okay.
Well, Gloria's 21, 22, and Maria's around that age too, so he's fucking everyone.
But he needs to believe in love again. Don't you understand?
Well, that's what the 13-year-old was for. Not the grown women.
He doesn't believe in love. It's so sad.
During this time, again, is when Gloria's career took off. And her market was kids. So they would...
Clearly.
Yeah, for her and Sergio, they were like, it'll be easier to recruit the kids. So I saw a bunch of interviews. And again, remember, Mexican Madonna. So she was singing about sex, condom, liberation, dick sucking, just everything you could think of. She would wear crazy clothes, and this is very conservative Catholic Mexico during this era too. She would dance very provocatively. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but she was marketing this to kids. And as I'm watching the documentary, they put clips of her interviews, and she's like, yeah, I just love the kids. I want to be an inspiration to the kids. And then it would show kids in line, little girls under 10 years old in line to go meet her, wearing torn up pantyhoses and torn up clothes what she would wear, and grinding and shit. And I was like, nobody thought this was a red flag.
So I don't know if not to spoil anything, but did she ever do anything to the kids besides a recruitment thing?
I mean, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay. And then second question, was her music videos sponsored by Dan Schneider?
No, it was actually Harvey Weinstein.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And R. Kelly.
Yeah. Epstein. Cool. Fuck.
Yeah, so Sergio and Gloria had a type. They would recruit slim, fit girls ages 13 to 15 that came from poverty, broken homes, seducing them with the idea that you need to do whatever it takes to get famous. Aline said Sergio had a huge calendar where he marked, basically he would have a huge calendar, move it a couple months forward, and put Aline's first record. And anytime she did something bad, he would move the date forward and move the date forward and move. And it would be Aline recording in Los Angeles. And then he'd be like, all right, you fucked up again. You're not ready. Move the date forward.
Hey,
yeah. And not that this is her fault at all, but Aline stayed, but I don't think she could leave either.
Of course, it's a
cult.
Carrot. It's a fucking it's a little thing in front. Yeah.
Because she wanted to be a pop star like Gloria, and she wanted to be famous. And at this point, she had been, by the age 15, she had already been brainwashed and told this is your ticket to fame.
And she sees the fucking
Gloria, yeah. Because they're touring
the
with
end
her.
result. Yeah, the
they're
end
touring
result,
with Gloria, being her backup dancers and stuff too.
Oh,
and
the 14. They're traveling.
They're
and all
traveling
that?
with Gloria and Sergio because you can't leave them alone. They're your sex cult.
Right. But that's also what's that word? They're not transporting to
Sex trafficking.
Yes, that. Thank you. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So by the time she was 15, she had already been conditioned to just agree to everything that Sergio and Gloria and Maria.
It's been 2 years. Fuck,
Yeah.
You know what the fuck?
Yeah, and so I guess at that age you can marry a minor. So Sergio and her got married.
Ah. Right.
Elaine says that on her wedding night, he took her into the bedroom and beat the fuck out of her, just to,
Sorry. I did not expect. Okay.
to put her in her place. Just-
Right. Jesus.
Although Sergio was Elaine's husband, he would still have sex with Gloria, Maria, and rape the other girls because he was not having sex with minors. He was raping little girls.
You're telling me the sex cult leader wasn't monogamous?
No, and there's some interviews, and I don't mean to laugh, where they would ask Gloria, because like Gloria would spin it like we were all in a relationship together.
That's what she. Yeah. Not once again.
Yeah.
Not.
And then they
blaming
would
the
be like,
victims.
Gloria, you didn't ask for exclusivity. And then she'd be like, I mean, I did, but he wasn't cool with it. So Gloria, Maria, Sergio would have orgies with the girls.
And there it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's the yep.
Although Gloria, Maria, and Sergio deny it, but the girls were like, no, they orgied us.
Yeah. So it really is a combination of R. Kelly and Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. That's what it really is.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes. So Elaine, like I said, they would travel with them. Recalls that they would hotel hop often. Sergio would decide how many rooms they were allowed to get, which girls got to sleep on the bed, and which girls would sleep on the floor. So you'd have to be a good girl, I guess, to get a bed. Sergio then began starving them, continuously raping them, and it got to the point where when they would take flights, the girls would steal pillows and peanuts and shampoos because they didn't know when they were going to get to eat again. They knew that they might end up on the floor, so they'd be like, let me take this pillow so at least I have a pillow if I'm going to sleep on the floor. And they don't know when they were going to have things to shower with because he wouldn't provide it. Even though Elaine was his wife, she was the least favorite, so he would always make always make her sleep on the floor as punishment. There was one time where she disappointed him for whatever his standards were. He stripped her naked, beat her with a belt, and made her sleep naked in the tub of a hotel. Sergio would starve them for days and made sure they couldn't sleep so he can control them. As soon as Elaine had been old enough to move in there, she said that she was like, well, of course, like, I wanted to leave. Like, the first day I moved in was like, I want to get out of here. But she was afraid that they were going to do something to her because girls would try to run away and then he would beat the shit out of them, isolate them, starve them.
Right.
And I mean, yeah. So she ended up escaping 1991 after 6 years of being with them. So 13 to
19, yeah, almost 20, yeah. How'd she escape?
I'll get there. So
Okay,
we're gonna hit
sorry.
that pause button because I gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay. Hit that pause button. Be back for the next part.
I think it's still playing.
It is. My bad. Sorry, guys. Once we get the crew back, it'll be a lot easier, but we're doing this now. So please continue.
So I'm going to go into our second survivor. Again, not specifically the second, just one of the ones that came out and told her story. Her name is Lupita Carrasco. At the age of 19, she had been winning a lot of beauty contests. In 1995, she was a finalist for Miss Mexico. And guess who was in the audience watching this? Sergio and Gloria. And they had been spreading a rumor saying that they were looking for a beautiful Mexican woman to cast in one of their movies or music videos or...
I'm sorry, you said she was 19 at this point?
Yeah, she was 19.
So they went older.
Yeah.
No type. Like it seems to be all over the board.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Lupita was told that she could definitely come and be a part of the squad, and she could join the Pink House school because she was a diamond in the rough. So she needed to come to the school and take some lessons.
Polished, yeah.
Yep. So then she was taken to the Pink House, where she lived with 7 other girls, some as young as 13.
7. That's so...
Gloria would talk with her and be like, hey, like, tell me about your family, your beliefs. And later on, they figured out Gloria would come and befriend you, get information about you, and then take it to Sergio, and then he'd know how to manipulate you.
That psychology stuff coming back to play.
Yeah. Gloria told Lupita that she was on the verge of getting expelled because she made Sergio angry. And the only way they would let her stay is if she wrote love letters to Sergio. She didn't want to write them because 1, she didn't love him, 2, ew.
Yep. 2's a big one.
Yeah. Gloria told her, look, if you get expelled, you're going to be a failure in your family's eyes. So then Lupita was like, okay, I guess I'll write a letter saying I love Sergio. And this is something they had all the girls do, is write love letters to Sergio. Because apparently under that specific Mexican law, if the minor has written consent, then it's not a crime. Or something to that.
Yeah, which I'm assuming he knew, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like he was making them... so Gloria would guide them in writing the letters, and they would talk about how, like, their sexual fantasies of Sergio and how much they loved them and wanted to be with them, and then she would make them hand deliver them to him.
Oh boy. Okay.
Yeah. So the same day that Lupita delivered her letter, Sergio started coming into her room at night, explaining that the letter he wrote was obviously a consent to a sexual relationship, and then started raping her every night. At some point, Lupita was like, why am I even here? For my family or for the fame? That's something that she says in an interview. But again, Gloria was a huge icon.
I mean,
Mexican
both, right?
Madonna.
I mean,
Him too.
You're being poached, so
Yeah.
you're obviously the fame comes to help your family. So
Yeah, and again, Gloria's like the face of like sexual liberation for women. She would post pictures with like condoms, like hanging on a clothesline, and BDSM stuff. And yeah, remember marketing to the kids. Sergio would tell Lupita that he needed to discipline them to be successful stars. Sergio ended up buying a lot of homes that surrounded the Pink home and made sure the other houses didn't have running water. So the girls would have to go to the Pink home where he was and ask for permission to use the bathroom. One day, Sergio took the girls to eat a 5-course meal. And I'm just accounting just some of the abuse because there was way more.
Sure.
Took them to a 5-course meal. Made them eat every single thing, no matter how full or sick they got. Then made their driver swerve until they all threw up in the car. So he would do shit like that. He would get the girls to spy and report on each other too.
Yeah, better treatment, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There was a parking lot he owned next to the Krusty Pink house and the surrounded houses where he bought a camper. And whenever they were extra bad, he would isolate them and leave them in there for long periods of time, like by themselves. Right. Lupita talks about when she was alone in the camper, she felt like it was way worse than the beatings that she got. Lupita also talked about Sergio not giving the girls any money. So again, they would have to steal soaps and pads and towels from hotel rooms. Did that fall?
I don't think you put it back on.
I did put it back on. Oh, but I'm next to yours, so it'll pick up.
Mine just cruises. Oh, that's mine. Where's?
No, mine's right here.
Oh shit! You put on instant. Sorry. That's my
Oh
fault.
my God.
I didn't see it clipped. I was so scared. I thought we did it again. Sorry. Keep going.
Okay. So, per Lupita, Gloria always obeyed him, and one of the rules for the girls were that they were only able to talk to each other. Maria Buquitas, the backup singer to Gloria, that was also the other adult woman there,
Okay.
raping the children's.
Oh, so multiple adult women raping the children. The
So it's
backup singer
Gloria,
was-
Maria, and Sergio, the 3 adults.
Okay.
Sergio's right hand apparently was the enforcer, and Gloria was the recruiter. So Maria would be like the house mom, I guess, to boss them around, and Gloria would be the one that come here.
So Maria, was she?
He was one of Gloria's backup singers.
No, yeah, but was she like inducted into the Pink House and stuff like that? Was she
No,
preyed upon
she
like
was
that
just
too?
one of Gloria's backup dancers that was
Just
like
a bitch.
down
Okay,
with it. Yeah,
cool,
just
cool,
fucking
cool.
cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
Lupita talked about how there was a girl who tried to run away once, and said he stripped her naked and beat her until she bled and then locked her into a bathroom. So Lupita decided that she was going to try to be the perfect girl there to get some leeway and run away. So there was a time where Lupita's mother got sick, and she was like, look, I gotta go be with my mom, but of course I love you, and of course I want to come back, but I just want to be with my mom for a little bit. So he was like, all right, I'll allow it. She leaves, never comes back. Thank
Good
God.
for her. Good for her.
Good girl.
Smart girl.
So we're gonna go back to our first survivor that came out, Aline, the one that was married to him at 15 years old. After some time, she ended up writing a tell-all book, and Lupita came forward after that tell-all book, and she's like, yeah, that's exactly what happened to us. Like, all of that is true. And nobody believed Aline. They saw her as just a bitter ex-wife,
Okay.
a 15-year-old
Yeah. Like.
bitter ex-wife. Even though Lupita had also come out and be like, yeah, everything she's saying is true. And of course, it's like the R. Kelly effect, right? Like the Michael Jackson effect, like all of that. Like nobody wants to believe your favorite pop star
Right.
is a pervert. But come on, marketing that shit to kids. Red flag number 1.
Yeah, but I mean, that part, in my opinion, isn't surprising because we have like what the fucking Teen Choice Awards and shit like that too, right? I mean, it's unfortunately not that far fetched that's I mean, even commercials and stuff market towards children. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The other stuff, that's the. Jesus.
We're going to talk about our third victim that came out publicly later. Her name was Karina Yapur. She got to go to the Krusty Pink House School of Successful Stars at age 12.
Krusty Pink House is the pink house for you and me.
For years, her parents believed her to be at a school to become a star. When Karina was 14 years old, her parents got a call from the hospital that her daughter had given birth to a baby boy and abandoned him at the hospital.
Okay.
They went to the hospital, got the baby, but they couldn't find Karina. But they looked for her, ended up reporting her as a missing person. And after that happened, Sergio went on the run with Gloria, Maria, and the other girls.
Left the pink house and just
Left the pink house, took him to Brazil.
went mobile. Oh, no shit. All right. Expand your market, I guess. Fuck.
Yeah, when he was finally caught in Brazil, they caught him with 8 girls, many who were pregnant and many who had already had his babies.
Where are the babies?
Oh, just wait.
Oh, fuck.
When they got arrested in Brazil and then extradited to Mexico, and they were just denied. So I watched a bunch of old interviews of them going like Gloria would be like, hey, if we kidnap the girls, while they were on the stage with me, why didn't they grab the mic and ask for help?
Blame the victims.
Sergio was like, have you not seen the explicit letters they would write me? We were in love. This was not rape. And Maria was
all
like...
8 of them.
Yeah.
All fucking 8 of them, yeah.
Yeah, and then Maria was like, I don't even know what y'all are talking about. There was no rape going on. Yeah. Before being transported to Mexico, because remember they got caught in Brazil, there's also a video of Gloria crying and begging on a camera saying that their life would be in danger if they got sent to Mexico,
Yeah, from the parents fucking grabbing their fucking torch and pitchforks and
right?
shit. Yeah.
Well, nobody believed them. Everybody was on their side. Very R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, all that bullshit.
Music
Woody
was a bop,
Allen.
Yeah.
Songs were bops. Like I said, they gave a ton of interviews while in jail. A ton. And Sergio would say, hey, look, the girls are just lying to use us for notoriety. Eventually, Karina decided to go back to her family and come forward, and she wrote her own book telling her story. And then she went on talk shows just like the other girls did too, and she was like, yeah, all of this happened. Karina wrote in detail about the 10 days about 10 days after the arrival after her arrival to the school. 10 days after her school, he started going into her room and raping her. Maria did an interview, remember the other adult lady, saying that they were, so again, she was accused of recruiting and abusing the girls. So Gloria was the recruiter, but they were like Maria too.
Man or whatever.
Yeah. And she was like, look, like the girls would come to us. We didn't recruit them. They would come to us and they wanted to have a sexual relationship with Sergio. And that was not any of my business who he was fucking.
Okay. Not a solid.
And again, Gloria was doing interviews where she would say that, why didn't they yell for help at the concerts then?
Corroborate.
These girls were living a life of luxury, staying in 5-star hotels with us and touring.
On the floor, bleeding in the bathtub. Yeah.
Yeah. So Karina talked about how one of the worst times that she was tortured would be at the hotels. She said that Sergio beat her with hangers, an electric cord, and a belt. One beating with all of this, to the point where she passed out, and when she woke up to him raping her. Sergio again would use food like Starvation till Salvation to abuse them. He would never let them again talk to their parents and supervise. So some of the things he liked to feed the girls when he was feeding them was a mix of eggshells, raw onions, herbs. And Maria, the other lady, would be in charge of making sure they ate that concoction. And if they threw it up, they were supposed to eat their vomit too.
Boy.
So again, they got arrested, and some of the big evidence they had was that Karina had a son by Sergio. Of course, the one that left the baby at the hospital, right? Right. So obviously she was underage and DNA, you are the father. Later, Sergio would say in one of his famous interviews, like, it wasn't rape, it was consensual. You can't control the feelings you develop for people. We had a joyful relationship. He said if he was guilty of something, it was being guilty of being a man in love.
That he was trying to learn how to get back. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that Karina showed him. Gloria would say in interviews that she had proof that the girls really loved Sergio and were never raped because of the countless love letters they wrote with graphic sexual desires for Sergio. But again, the girls were like, they made us write those.
Right.
And if you see Sergio, ain't no one trying to fuck him. No one's trying to fuck him. One of the girls came out and said that Gloria would also be beaten and abused and made to sleep on the floor when she was bad, and she would beg to leave too. So one of the girls was like, Gloria was just as much of a victim as we were. But fuck Gloria.
I was gonna say, do you buy that?
No, I'm glad the other girls were empathetic, but fuck Gloria. Because then she's gaslighting all these girls when they came out with their abuse story.
Right. Trying to save her, yeah.
Yeah, I saw an interview that was really cringy that they were asking her about it, and she was like, look, I love Sergio. So yeah, like, we had a relationship. I wasn't going to tell him who to have or not have sex with. Those girls were just using him for fame. They were whores. Me, I loved him. I was not a whore. I got raised right.
Oh, poor thing. I mean, ugh.
Yes.
And I will say, like, the fact that they got beaten more at hotels just so they didn't have to clean up, right? I mean, that's, yeah.
I don't know
yeah,
why they were
maids.
getting beaten more at hotels. I
you,
guess,
you didn't have to clean it up at the house, you know?
You know what? Fuck the drivers.
Yo.
Fuck everybody that saw that.
Yeah.
Fuck everyone that saw that.
A lot of people saw it, yep.
No. So during this era, before they got arrested, Sergio had actually produced a song for Gloria, and they made a music video about a little girl getting kidnapped from her parents, like a 7 or 8-year-old girl getting kidnapped from her parents by a fat, ugly man who would rape her. They did like a time lapse. Mm-hmm. So then Gloria was like presumably the girl older. And she fell in love with her abuser and would crawl into bed with him. And they fell in love and lived happily ever after. And nobody thought that was a red flag. And a lot of the songs that Sergio would produce for, especially for, because he represented other younger artists first, but like there was one where her parents like overheard Lucero, allegedly, because Lucero has never come out and ever confirmed any of this. Kind of like Ariana Grande with, was it Foot Guy? Is that Dan Schneider? And the creepy shit he did?
Yeah.
But allegedly, Lucero had got into a sexual relationship with him too at like the age of 14 or younger. Because she's also a huge star now. And he ended up was like coercing her into running away because he had got her pregnant. And I couldn't find a lot of details on this online. And it was really hard, especially to find articles in English about it. But she, apparently, when she was on the phone talking to Sergio about running away together, because I'm assuming she was plan A, and then he had to settle for Gloria later to begin the sex cult.
Okay, yeah.
So she was talking like, yeah, we're going to totally run away and like have your baby and be happily ever after. Coincidentally, her brother overheard her having that conversation and went and told his parents, like, immediately. And then the parents were like, shout out to the brother. And then the parents were like, what the fuck? Because what Lucero was different. She wasn't at the Pink School. The Pink School didn't exist yet. She was like one of the earlier victims. He hadn't perfected his evilness yet.
Yeah.
So her parents were like, fuck that, and cut ties. He was no longer the manager. And it was also abrupt that people speculated. So that something weird happened there. And then he got with Gloria, and then all that shit started happening, and then people started putting it together. So okay, so they when they caught them, sent them to Mexico, all the girls came forward, and there was a total of 7 babies fathered by Sergio for the minors. And they all were like, yeah, he tortured all of us and raped us. A year later, while in prison, Trevi announced that she was pregnant. The father, Sergio Andrade. And before they had transported her, I guess she spent a year in Brazil before they extradited her. In Brazil, they did a DNA test and confirmed Sergio was the father, but Gloria Trevi has denied this to that day. They're like, nah, he's not.
Yeah, makes sense.
In 2004, Trevi was cleared of all charges due to lack of evidence after spending 4 years and 8 months in prison and was acquitted.
Wait, so he's free?
She's free.
Oh, I'm sorry. This isn't Sergio. This is okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
this is Gloria.
Sorry.
She was released 2004. By 2008, she was performing at the Premio Juventud, their kids' awards. Yep. And following her release, she released her 6th studio album. Como nace el universo, how the universe was born, while and it was received as like an awesome comeback. Then she released a 7th album that was crazy successful too. And she's going on tour. She announced her tour this year. She's going on tour. Here in the United States.
We gonna go? Kidding. Yeah.
During award season, she actually also won Female Artist of the Year at the Premio Juventud, that youth awards thing. For the song 5 Minutes. And again, I did not want to listen to these because I didn't want to give her no fucking views. So I have no idea what these songs are about.
And I'm assuming they're going to be sold out, right? A lot of people are going to go.
Yeah, and the producer that helped her with Cinco Minutos actually got nominated for a Latin Grammy for being a producer and working on her 2010 album. And one of the songs she released was actually used for a famous telenovela named Teresa. I mean, like, she's booming. In 2013, she released a 10th album, reaching top 10 Latin Billboard charts, topped in several Latin American countries. So just like, my people don't give a fuck. It was like, all right, Kelly and Michael Jackson and Woody Allen don't give a fuck.
Yep.
Yeah. In 2015, she embarked into a passion project, which became her 11th album, called El Amor, The Love, which included love ballads, songs from previous work, and where she had like alter egos, like the real Slim Shady. She again, it topped the Billboard charts. It had 2 successful singles. And she even collaborated with Alejandra Guzman, which is a big Mexican artist. Which, come on, Alejandra. Ugh. Come on. Oh, and she ended up going on tour with her too. Trevi married Armando Gomez, her attorney, in 2009. She now lives in McAllen, Texas, with Gomez and her 2 sons. Trevi received the BMI President's Award March 2nd, 2016 at the 23rd Latin Awards for her impact on Latin pop. Because she's, again, the biggest Latin pop artist for Latinos.
Boy. Not even a fucking speed bump in her career.
No, not at all. If you're wondering what happened to good old boy Sergio, he did end up getting convicted for kidnapping minors, and one of the charges was corrupting minors, but he ended up getting not charged with that. Hey, stop.
Sorry. Puppies.
Sorry, puppies. Hey, come here. What? I know. Fuck Sergio and Gloria.
Yeah, they're upset too.
Fuck Sergio and Gloria for doing that to those innocent girls. I don't remember how much he spent in jail. It was 7 years, 10 months for Sergio. And then he got released. And he is currently 66 years old, residing in Mexico City. Since his release from prison in 2007, he has not been seen in public. Although he has refuted each and every charge brought against him, he is still a contentious figure in American and Mexican music. So Gloria has come out with a docuseries, and I was like, I just need to like watch one episode so I can talk about this, even though I did not want to support her. I got only through the intro, and it was like, yeah, it's me, Gloria. People try to bring me down, and that didn't hinder my career. Yeah, she's the victim. And
Sarcasm.
Yeah, sarcasm. Yeah,
that's how she's framing it.
And people are just eating this docuseries up. Eating this fucking docuseries up. And fun fact: while they were on the run for doing all this, Trevi had a previous baby, other than the one she had in jail, a baby girl with Sergio Andrade while they were on the run. The baby girl disappeared and has never been found. Trevi claims that the baby accidentally choked to death and then was dumped in a river by one of the clan girls. And never convicted for that. That's just...
Well, shit happens.
Yeah.
Put it in the river. It's fine.
Put in the river. And she was like, yeah, like, I wanted to bear... I saw some interviews about that. She was like, yeah, like, Sergio was like, we're going to go get a death certificate for her. And then I guess she gave it to one of those girls. And then those girls went and just, like, threw my baby away. Those girls. And now that fucking bitch is touring and still making hella money. And she got her happily ever after. And said he was out there just vibing, I guess. And, again, there was so many girls. There's actually 2 that recently filed suit in California right before the statute. I guess they were raped at some point in California. And they're both Jane Does, so we don't know who they are. And if they want to conceal their identity, as they should. So she's getting sued, like civil suit, for these 2. And again, Gloria, I saw a quote that was from Gloria that was like, can people just move past this? This was a long time ago.
Yeah, just move on.
Yeah. Like, get over it.
That's...
One of the sons he fathered is actually a pianist prodigy, a model, and an attorney for like biochemical something.
Oh, just like his dad. Or, I mean,
super smart.
Yeah.
Super smart. But there's nothing. I mean, he's not a bad guy. He just happens to be the son of a bad guy.
Right.
But it looks eerily like him. I saw like his model pictures. Very, very handsome man. But looks a lot like his punk ass daddy. But he shouldn't be associated with that still. No. But of course, people will always put that together. Like how they're already harassing Anna Nicole Smith's daughter because she looks a lot like Anna Nicole Smith right now.
I don't know how my story can have like over 400 people dead, and I feel worse about your story than, you know. Both terrible.
I feel bad for yours, the kids. It was the blankets.
Right, yeah.
Buried.
God.
Yeah, so I was like watching like a ton of back-to-back I will say a lot of the women that interviewed Gloria were on her neck. They're like, oh, but you weren't a whore? Oh, but the girls didn't sign up because of you? Okay. Oh, where's your daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, crib death? You diagnosed that? So I do appreciate that.
Sure. God, jeez.
Yeah, so this bitch is just out here living her best fucking life and has a fucking docuseries.
Making bukus of money.
Yeah, where she talks about that other artist, Lucero, and like gives her like a surname. And then she refers to Sergio Andrade as that guy who tried to bring me down. Who thought that I would be nothing without him, but I was something before and I'm still something after him. Makes me so... I was heated. I remember listening to people talk about this when I was a kid, because I was born in the 90s. And I'm telling you, she was a big deal. Like, songs, bangers, I used to listen to them. And I remember hearing older women, like, around, and they would be like, oh, well, those girls were asking for it. Those girls wanted it. They wanted fame. So they were just spreading their legs open for fame. And I remember, like, I would see, because, like, it was a huge scandal, of course, huge scandal. So they would all put his picture all the time. And I was like, I wouldn't. It was like, at my young age, I was like, I'll kiss that guy. They were doing more than that. They were getting raped.
But that's even how, like we mentioned before, like in the Michael Jackson case, and you know, so many
Woody
others
Allen, R. Kelly.
You know, like, they wanted fame, so what did you expect? You know, and it's just like, wait a minute, we're okay with that? Like,
we're okay with
we're just
girls,
sweeping that under the
little
rug.
girls. Yeah, they wanted it. I'm telling you, if you see this man, you're. I'll put pictures. We'll put pictures on our TikTok and Instagram and all that. But yeah, these fuckers are out, and they're just living their best life, and I want us to bully them because they don't deserve peace.
Probably still doing it again, just more covertly.
I didn't even think about that.
What's stopping them?
For sure. I didn't even think about
Well, it's tough.
that. And like I said, it was really hard to find English articles on that. And it was still kind of hard to find articles in Spanish because a lot of it was like super vague.
Right.
Super, super vague. So I don't know if, I mean, they found them with 7 girls, but I don't know if it was way more than 7 girls that were affected. Because I'm sure some of them grew out of it or like got too aged out of it.
Right.
Yeah, and he was probably like 5-year-old and washed up and you're never going to be famous. Yeah, but Aline,
And then, like,
Lupita, and Karina all came forward and they're telling their story and they're super brave and I admire them for their strength. And I'm glad they came forward, and it's horrible that nobody believed them.
No, 100%.
And I'm glad they came out and supported each other and are still telling their story.
And then everyone heals differently, right? So, like, some people need to heal in terms of them not coming forward because they don't, you know, and that's.
And I've never, I mean, a lot of people are like, well, if this guy's been raping people, like, why didn't the other victims come forward type of deal? And I don't blame
100%.
victims not coming forward.
Yeah.
I don't see what happens. See what the fuck happens. Bitch was acquitted of all charges. Bitch's baby is missing. Where is this baby girl?
That's.
Yeah, she just in McAllen, Texas. So if y'all see this bitch in McAllen, backhand her.
Well, we can't incite, you know, metaphorically.
Backhand her verbally.
Yeah.
Verbally.
Yeah. We don't want to
Be
incite
like-
anything, but it's fucked up. Pretty
Yeah,
fucked
there's
up.
Yolanda Saldivar and Gloria Trevi here in Texas.
At least the prior is in prison.
Yes.
For now.
Acquitted of all charges.
That's wild.
Acquitted.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to keep up with that civil suit. You know what I mean? That you mentioned, and hopefully,
With the Jane Does.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, yeah, civil is, it's never enough, right? But hopefully they can get some sort of closure.
She's one of those people that needs her ass beat.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Not by just Sergio, apparently.
yeah, yeah. That's insane. I mean,
I'll tell you, I'm heated. Just think heated.
and it's kind of one of those things where we need to hope that the future generations leading not only the United States but these other countries will help enact laws and that
To protect these minors.
to protect the children, protect any victim, and hopefully we can do better because I mean all of that in society, you know, being taboo and all that stuff, like it seems now we're starting to get more open with
With
the
it.
awfulness
But
that
then
has happened.
But then
and
they
to
still
do-
have a platform. Like I pulled up her Instagram, bitch got 5 million followers.
Yo, that's crazy.
She won Woman of the Year after that. Y'all are cool with that?
Definitely. So that's bananas. That's absolutely wild.
Yeah. You're just outliving their best, and like nobody talks about it.
Well, I'd say I've never heard that story before.
No,
you,
like
you hear the R. Kellys, you hear the, you know, especially here.
This was like my
in,
R. Kelly, like my Latino R. Kelly growing up.
in the U.S. You just don't hear.
Yeah, and
about-
she's here in Texas with her attorney husband and her 2 kids. One of them who allegedly is not Sergio's, even though there was a DNA test in Brazil.
Hindsight, I guess you have to marry someone, get the one that
Got you
out.
off?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Oh, fucking shit.
These episodes are always tough.
Yeah. But it's something we need. I mean, it's important. It's stuff we need to cover and everything.
Absolutely.
Share the stories, share the victims,
The survivors.
The survivors. Let's make. We got to start
And
making
just
changes.
like bring awareness and just don't be a dick when you hear stories like that and be like, these girls were asking for it. Huh? These 12, 13, 14, 15, even the 19-year-old one.
Sure.
Ain't nobody asking for that.
100%. 100%. I really do wish we had alleged confessions after this to try to lighten, to try to fucking bring up the mood a little bit with our crew, but we don't. So, but like I said before, we are going to start posting more often and try to cover even more wild topics. We already have one in mind for next week.
I think we're doing ghosts next week.
Doing
or hauntings, paranormal.
Another ghost, haunting, paranormal.
We haven't done that in a while. That'll be a good palate cleanser.
Yeah. So hope you like this. Please share. We do want to mention, as always, that you can follow us at Conspirial_podcast on Instagram, Conspirial podcast on YouTube. Hopefully that's where you're watching this. At Conspirial on TikTok. And if you have any suggestions of stuff you want us to cover, you can email us at conspirial@gmail.com. Everything is Conspirial, CONSPIRIAL.
And do you want to plug yours? You're in TikTok or?
Oh yeah. Follow me at Sir Addison Rose on TikTok. Follow me on Facebook at Addison Rose Comedy. And just find me on Facebook, just Addison Rose. I'm probably the only male Addison Rose on there, so it's probably me. What about you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Annadez, ANNADEZ, and on TikTok at KingDez, KINGDEZ 3434. And fuck Sergio, fuck Gloria, fuck Maria. I couldn't even find what the fuck happened to that bitch.
And fuck Starvation through Salvation.
Yeah, fuck that.
Fuck that too. Yeah, 100%.
Fuck that.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. See ya.
Peace.